Well, hello guys, it is that time once again for another edition of Odds and Ends, where I read you some really weird news stories from all over the world, and they don't call it Odds and Ends for a reason. And I'm on time as usual, so without further ado, let's get going. Our first story comes out of China, where residents in rural China are red-faced after a rare double-ended mushroom they unearthed turned out to be a rubber sex toy. Villagers in the Luxurbo outside the western Chinese city of Xi'an discovered the oddly shaped object while drilling a new well. Quote, when we dug down to about 80 meters deep, we fished out this long, fleshy object. One of the villagers told television reporter Yi Yongfeng, Yi of the news program, Xi'an's Up Close, filed a report from the village and appeared similarly perplexed by the item. Quote, we can see there is something like a mouth, and on the other side there is a hole that connects all the way through to the other end. It is very smooth. It feels much like meat. Villagers reportedly determined the item was a rare shelf fungus known as Lingzhi, prized for its legendary ability to impart immortality. When the Emperor Qin Shi Huang was on the hunt for the secret to longevity, it is said he discovered the Lingzi was the answer, said Yi. After her report aired, however, many viewers called the television station to identify the, quote, mushroom as a silicone sex toy. The next day, the Xi'an news station posted an apology to Sina Weibo, a Chinese blogging website, expressed regret for the, quote, uncomfortable and misleading report. Quote, our reporter is very young and sheltered, said the station by way of explanation. Wow. Obviously, you have absolutely no idea in difference between a mushroom and a sex toy. Someone obviously needs to teach this person the difference between a mushroom that has some relativity connection to immortality and a sexy flesh toy you use for your desires. Somebody just needs to explain that and just, get that ish all separated and sorted out and whatnot. But anyways, moving on. Our next story is out of Michigan. Detroit resident Ronald Page must have thought he hit the jackpot when Bank of America inadvertently changed his checking account status, allowing him to withdraw unlimited funds from an ATM. Unfortunately, he didn't hit the literal jackpot, gambling away more than $1.5 million of the bank's money at area casinos. Between late 2008 and early 2009, Page used the technical glitch to pull $1,543,104 from the bank, despite the fact that he only had $300 in his checking account. The day that the error first cropped up, for example, Page withdrew $312,000 from the ATMs at the Greektown Casino and $51,727 from the ATMs at the MGM Grand Casino. The bank put a hold on Page's account 17 days later. By the time, however, the retired General Motors worker had already racked up a 7-digit loss at the gambling tables. Page pled guilty to charges of theft of bank funds and could face 15 months in jail. Prosecutors have called his crime a, quote, lapse in judgment, and have placed some of the blame on BOFA for allowing the withdrawals in the first place. In addition to the jail sentence, the U.S. Attorney's Office has suggested Page repay the funds and be prohibited from gambling in any capacity. Quote, if his gambling addiction is not addressed, he is very likely to cause further financial hardship to himself and his family, read the U.S. Attorney's sentencing memorandum. Okay, dude, if you think that they were to just give you unlimited withdrawals from any ATM, something would be up. You don't just freaking throw away $1.5 million at a gambling or at a casinos, hoping you win the big jackpot when you're not going to, because the odds of actually winning big jackpots in a casino are slim to none. You got to know the odds in order to know how often you're going to win and how much you're going to lose, depending on how much you bet, and so on and so forth. So if you know you go and gamble some money but not a lot, and you realize you lose it all, or you basically lose a portion depending on how wise you are with your money, then it just means that don't waste $1.5 million. That is stupid. Anyways, moving on. Our next story comes out of Ohio, where the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup bandit has struck again. And again, and again, and again. Northern Ohio's Morning Journal reports that a thief is regularly targeting a Sunoco gas station 30 miles west of Cleveland in the city of Lorien. Employees aren't even sure how many times he's hit the place, but they do know his favorite chocolate and peanut butter treat is flying off the shelves at an alarming rate. According to employees, the bandit has stolen between $400 and $600 worth of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups in the last couple of months. Quote, "This is a constant problem at Sunoco and it usually happens after midnight," a clerk at the store told police. Owners even installed a security camera, but have been unable to stop the sweet tooth snatcher. The bandit appeared most recently on the night of June 19th around 1 a.m. A clerk leaped over the counter and tried to block his exit, but the thief pushed past him, taking a bag of chips in addition to peanut butter cups. The bandit is described as a black male, approximately 18 years old, 5 feet 10 inches tall, 140 pounds, wearing all black clothing. Okay, dude. What makes you think you have the right to go to a gas station after midnight and steal Reese's Peanut Butter Cups? Don't get me wrong, I love Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. But you think you can get away with $400 to $600 worth of stolen merchandise that you devoured in the last couple of months and get away with it? It's not going to happen. You are not going to get away with it. You are going to get caught and you are going to go to jail and you're going to pay for the consequences. Even though you like this kind of candy, and I'm sure you don't have a job, no income, and therefore you think it's right to steal this stuff and get away with it, when you actually have to pay for it, and stealing is against the law. Of course, we all know that, but apparently you don't get it through your fucking head. Get that through your head. And finally, our last story comes out of California, where a Marin County man is suing the California Department of Fish and Game after he says a, quote, mismanaged deer attacked him. According to Thaddeus Warskinsky, handwritten court filing, the Bolinian's resident suffered injuries from falling into a window after a wild deer jumped into his fenced yard and, quote, attacked me twice on a narrow path. Warskinsky is suing for unspecified damages because, as he states in his document, the Wildlife Department, quote, mismanaged neglected, that's a mouthful, its animal. According to the Marine Independent Journal, Warskowski filed another handwritten lawsuit in federal court last year against the Marin County Assessor's Recorder's Office. That office have been trying to collect overdue property taxes from Warkwinski, who refused to pay because he is in, quote, independent dignity ambassador and in, quote, ordinator / scholar / artist. Deputy County Counsel Erwin Kerwin said Nowinski's previous suit was full of nonsensical, irrelevant non-scorters, as well as, quote, legally meaningless and pointless facts. That suit was dismissed in court. A case management conference for the mismanaged deer lawsuit has been scheduled for October 19th. Wow. You think that suing the California Fish and Game Department for having them mismanaged a deer who attacked you? Who thinks, I don't even know if this actually works or not though, but I don't know if the Game and Fish actually takes deer from birth, raises them, and then they send them out to the wild, and then they say, okay, you know, you can hunt them or do whatever. So, but if they don't, then that doesn't give you the right to actually go to the Fish and Game and say, hey, I'm a hunter, I like to hunt, you know, game, so I'm just going to point my finger at you because apparently this deer, quote, attacked me twice, and cause damage to the property. So therefore, I'm just going to point my finger at you because I have nothing to do. Plus the fact that you got screwed on the fact that you didn't pay your property taxes because you made up a bunch of baloney, and that case got passed. So now you're going to have to just, you know, freaking hassle with the state of California all over again. But I wish you luck, and it's never going to happen, just so you know, dude. But anyways, guys, that is it for this edition of Odds and Ends, and I really hope you guys enjoyed listening to those stories as much as I like reading them to you. And we will see you guys on next Thursday for another edition of Odds and Ends, and until next time, see you guys later.